Hi guys, and welcome to another video on tutorial time. I'm Scarlett, and today I'm going to show you how to make a really cute cushion. To make it, you will need 2 pieces of the same size fabric, some pins, and some fabric scissors. Now we've got the equipment, it's time to start. I know it sounds strange, but when you're sewing, you put the fabrics inside out, like this, so that we can turn it the correct way around later. Now with this cute hedgehog pin cushion here, I'm going to use the pins off his back, and I'm going to pin around the cushion, like this. So we dip it down under, and then we pull it through, like that. We do this to hold the fabric together before sewing it, otherwise it would be uneven and it would all flop apart. Now it's all finished, we are going to cut off the extra fabric around the edge to neaten it up a bit. So we're going to get our scissors and we're going to trim. Now I have neatened up the edge, it is time to get sewing. To sew, you will need a sewing machine or a needle to sew by hand. I will be using a machine. And I'm also using a thread and a bobbin to sew with. Let's get started. It's a bit of a noisy activity, but it's lots of fun. Now, when you get to the end of a piece of fabric like this, let me show you what to do. First, you put your needle down like that. Then we undo this pin that is closest to the foot. Then we're going to put this pin away so it's not dangerous. Back in the hedgehog it goes. Then we lift up the foot and we twist it round and put it back down again. And the needle is already down, so we don't need to do anything there. And then we're ready to sew again. And you repeat this stage until you've done 3 sides. Now it is a bit different when you get to the 4th side, which is the very last one. So we have to spin it round as normal, like so. Then, instead of sewing it all up, we have to leave a hole. Personally, I'd leave it about that sort of wide, because the smaller it gets, the harder it gets to stuff it. But we don't want a really big hole, otherwise it would just be ridiculous. So I'm going to make a hole that's about this sort of size. You see where the line is in the fabric here? If you put your finger with the edge of that and one of the lines like that, it gives you about the right size. So about that sort of size. So we'll sew this side now. So it's important to make sure that the fabric is straight, because if we sew the wrinkles, it will just end up a messy disaster. Let's continue. And then when you get to a pin, instead of sewing that over, you take it out and put it in your pin cushion or wherever you store your pins. Now I've got to that line that I said about earlier in this video, it's time to take it out. Okay, so now we've sewn up the pillow, we are going to get it, but before we turn it the correct way around, I'm going to trim off these excess threads that are not needed. So I'm just going to check around the cushion, and then whenever I come to a thread that is not needed, for example this one, it's quite long too, we're just going to trim it off with our scissors like that, and it just neatens it up a bit. Because if we turned it the correct way around first, then it wouldn't be the correct way around to do it. Otherwise, you will have had all your extra threads that are not needed on the inside of the pillow still. Here's another. Let's just trim it. And then it will make it look a lot neater. Now that I have done that, it is time to turn the pillow the correct way around. So we have got this hole that we have left here. So if you put your arm inside, see it fits. It works nicely. So I'm just going to put my thumbs in and put it all this way. See how the pattern's turning the correct way around? So we just push it in. And now, that's not a pillow, is it? So we're going to have to push with our arm and push it all the way through. And that's why you leave a big enough hole so that your arm will fit through, so you can spread it out more easily. You can do it with a smaller hole, but for me, I think it's easier like this. So see how my arm fits in? It's also easier when we come to stuff it. So then, once you get there, you can just shake it out, and then we can see the corners that have kind of folded in. We can just pull those out, and it works nicely. So now we have turned our pillow the correct way around, we can stuff it. For those who don't know what stuffing is for, it looks just like this. It's soft like a cloud. Now, you use this to plump out the pillow, otherwise it's basically just a piece of fabric. So, we're going to get this and we're going to slide it inside the cushion. So here is the hole. So we get a small bit of stuffing, and using our thumbs, we just push it inside the pillow like that. And then we can use our arm and push it all the way down to the furthest corner. And then we just repeat this. Now that it is stuffed, it is time to sew up this little hole. Now I have sewed it up, it is time to show you the finished thing. And then the other side. This works as a double-sided pillow. You can have fun characters on one side and a slightly more plain side on the other. So you can have two designs in one. It's so comfortable. I'm going to go and try it out now. Bye!